NewsNation's Libby Dean has the latest from the White House this morning. So, Libby, we now know the president has this 2-week timetable for his decision over a strike on Iran. What more are we learning about what he's watching and waiting for?
Good morning, Markie. The White House says that President Trump will decide whether to get the U.S. involved in this war. Within the next 2 weeks, he'll make that decision. And that development came after a third meeting in the Situation Room over the last 3 days. And we know the president has a national security meeting on his schedule later today. Now, earlier this week, the president made it clear that he hadn't made a final decision on if the U.S. was going to get involved. And of course, he has yet to make that decision given this 2-week timetable. Now, the White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, says President Trump's first goal here is ultimately diplomacy, but warns that the U.S. is not afraid to use force if Iran doesn't come to the table on a deal. Let's listen.
Iran is in a very weak and vulnerable position because of the strikes and the attacks from Israel. And with respect to the president's statement, I shared that with all of you. And he has been very direct and clear. Iran can and should make a deal. We sent a deal to them that was practical, that was realistic, or they will face grave consequences.
Even as President Trump weighs potential war plans, his team is still working towards a diplomatic solution here. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff met with Britain's Foreign Secretary at the White House here yesterday, looking for a potential deal that would ease these tensions in the Middle East. The majority of Americans, though, they don't want to see the U.S. get involved in this war, according to a new poll from The Economist and YouGov. Just 15% of Americans think that the U.S. should enter this conflict. And sources tell NewsNation that there's this divide within the intelligence community about how close Iran is to developing a nuclear weapon. The White House, though, they maintain that Iran has never been closer to having a nuclear bomb. We heard that from Karoline Leavitt yesterday. And these attacks on nuclear facilities by the Israelis may have impacted that timeline, which could impact, of course, President Trump's ultimate decision on if he were to launch a strike. That decision, he says, will come in the next 2 weeks. Now, this happening as European leaders meet with Iran's foreign minister in Switzerland today. Sources telling Reuters that the talks are in coordination with the U.S. and the goal ultimately today is to get Iran to guarantee that its nuclear program won't be used ultimately in the future to make a nuclear weapon. Markie.
All right, we'll be watching to see what comes from today. Libby, thank you, live from the White House.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.